Welcome back to Ladies of Another View, and I want to welcome back Pastor David Lowery, who's with Project 21, a conservative Black group with the National Center for Public Policy Research. If you go to nationalcenter.org, you can see Project 21 and many of their other programs where these wonderful, wonderful, refreshing leaders like Pastor Lowery are coming out and saying, hey, we've been lied to, and leading the Black people to God, to truth, to life issues. But tell us, I promised everybody, this is a pretty dramatic story. You got recruited for a jobs program by Urban League months earlier. You're standing in line, you're all registered, and they see you've got a MAGA hat on, so they kicked you out. What was that all about? Why did they kick you out, really?
Well, about a year ago, I was approached by a friend of mine named Freddie Batchelor. She has a organization called Destiny, and she knows how I feel about helping the Black children. And see, most of the children that are committing crimes here in Chicago are living in abandoned buildings. They're living in cars. They're not eating. They're not bathing. They can't go home. And they have no other place, and they have nothing that could probably make them become good citizens. And so she approached me about a program that Governor J.B. Pritzker had put together. And this program was called the Climate Equitable Jobs Act. She came to me and said, Pastor, would you help me recruit? Because the qualifications are for returning residents, people coming back into the city. It was for people who have graduated from foster care or who were still in the foster care system. And it also for reentry, people coming home from prison. And so I have a prison ministry. So I sat with Miss Batchelor, and she explained all these things to me that in this program, you would be able to receive a certificate if you completed one of the programs like electrical engineering for electrical vehicles, solar panel installation. They had core construction careers there, all sorts of different trades to become entrepreneurs. And to me, this was an opportunity for me to offer to these young people who have been thrown away, who have been forgotten, who their parents have let go in the system, have said they're no good. So I went out to them and I told them about this program. And you should have saw how excited they were, like, Pastor, you're going to help me. I need this. And so I got all their personal information together, and I put it in to Miss Batchelor, maybe 200 to 300 young Black men and women, some of my church people at where I go to church at. So I recruited them for this program. And when I turned their information in, Miss Batchelor said to me, she said, well, Pastor, you know there's no age limit on taking these classes. So she said, why don't you take the class? You're retired. And so basically she wanted me to see if the program would actually do what it was supposed to do. And so that was about a year or so ago. And I went out and I got all these people, identification, their social security numbers and all that, addresses, birth dates, emails, phone, everything that you could have. So we turned it in. And as the time went on, I didn't hear anything back. I kept calling Miss Batchelor. Now, mind you, the program was implemented September 15, 2021 by Governor Pritzker, signed it into legislation. And what that means is that millions and trillions of dollars can come into this legislation. And this money was supposed to be meant for the Black community, for Black children in decimated areas to become productive citizens of society. So after a year or so of not hearing anything, I've been asking the kids, they hadn't heard nothing. I asked my bishop, he heard nothing. And so I started rattling the cage. And once I started rattling the cage, guess who they called? They called me for the program. And so myself and another one of my contractors, Morris Anderson, they called us. And so the Urban League, I'm going to tell you who the culprits are. It's called the 548 Foundation. They belong to the Divine Nine Greek fraternities and sororities, the Safer Foundation, who was brought up, who has gotten legislation for prison reentry. These are all programs that supposed to uplift the Black community and supposed to be specifically for Black people to get their lives back on track. The Chicago Urban League is also a player. Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership. Now, there have been millions of dollars that have put into this program since 2021. Now they have all of these Black folks' identities, at least 200, and none of them have been called, but they called me. So I went through the assessment with the Urban League, and they told me that people from 548 would call me, and they were supposed to give $600 a week. They were supposed to give housing, transportation, and everything that these kids could get back and forth to school to be successful. They never called them, and when I went to the assessment, I passed the assessment, and so the guy from 548 was supposed to call me, and he finally called me and told me I had to take a TABE test. And that's the test to measure your psychological abilities. So he sent a text to Mr. Anderson, we were riding together. He said, March 20th, you guys got to be here. But what he did, he sent the wrong text to the wrong facility. So what they were doing on the side is training illegals on certain days, and then on other days they would have Black come in and train at the facility. So he sent the wrong day and the wrong time. So when we got to the facility, I had my MAGA hat on, and I walked in, and the Hispanics was losing their mind. They were screaming and they was hollering, and I didn't quite know what was going on, and I was trying to explain to them I was there to take a test for the program, and they were freaking out. So finally, it was a lady came that could speak English, and we started to communicate. But before then, I walked off, and I started taking pictures because something didn't feel right. So I started taking pictures of, they was in class, they was teaching them on the board. I got the pictures. And so finally they said that we was at the right place, but at the wrong time. And so we called the instructor to find out where we were supposed to be. And so once we called him, he told me, he said, well, you know, people that was there was afraid. Somebody had a MAGA hat on and he was taking pictures. And I told him, I said, well, that was me with the hat on, and I was taking pictures. So he automatically told me that because I wore Trump paraphernalia in the facility, I was no part of the program. I was kicked out the program.
Wow.
And told that I needed to find training somewhere else.
We are out of time. We are out of time. I want to have you on again because there's so much more to talk about with you.
Yes.
So clearly, instead of this money that was earmarked for the Black community, it was going to illegals, and
Yes.
you got kicked out because how dare you wear a MAGA hat in Democrat land, right?
Yes.
So I hope I want to talk to you again about this soon because I want to find out if this kind of thing is clearing out.
Call me anytime because the Department of Homeland Security has gotten involved. They've taken the case. So we're
good. They got to straighten things out. Pastor Lowery, we
guys,
love
I love
you.
you. Greatest
God
show
bless
in America.
you. Yes. Okay, we'll talk again soon.
Yes. Have a great day.